Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye. Nishtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nishtiki Durlabhamanasho Deho Dehinam Shanabangure Tatrapi Durlabham Manye Vaikuntha Priyadarshinaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Jai Śrī Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Kṛṣṇa Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for joining. We are reading Srimad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 2, entitled Prayers by the Demigods. So we read till text number 17 last time, and we were talking about this point that the Supreme Lord cannot be understood from one's material mind, material senses. Can only be understood by bhakti. Those who have unalloyed bhakti, they can understand the Supreme Lord. So, Krishna appeared in the mind of Vasudeva, and from the mind of Vasudeva, he appeared in the heart of Vasudeva. So let's see further what happens. Tato Jagan Mangalam Achyutam Sham Samahitam Surasutena Devi Dadhara Sarvatmakam Atmabhutam Kashtha Yathanda Karam Nanastaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thereafter, accompanied by plenary expansion, the fully opulent Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is all auspicious for the entire universe, was transferred from the mind of Vasudeva to the mind of Devaki. Devaki, having thus been initiated by Vasudeva, became beautiful by carrying Lord Śrī Krishna, the original consciousness of everyone, the cause of all causes, within the core of her heart, just as the east becomes beautiful by carrying the rising moon. Purport. As indicated here by the word Manastaha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was transferred from the core of Vasudeva's mind or heart to the core of the heart of Devaki. We should note carefully that the Lord was transferred to Devaki not by the ordinary way for a human being, but by Diksha, initiation. Thus, the importance of initiation is mentioned here. Unless one is initiated by the right person, who always carries within his heart the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot acquire the power to carry the Supreme Personality of Godhead within the core of one's own heart. The word Achyutam Sham is used because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Shad Aishwarya Purna, full in the opulence of wealth, strength, fame, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is never separated from his personal opulences, as stated in the Brahma Samhita Ramadimurtishu kala niyamena tishtan. 5.39. The Lord is always situated with all his plenary expansions such as Rama, Narsimha and Varaha. Therefore the word Achyutam Sham is specifically used here, signifying that the Lord is always present with his plenary expansions and opulences. There is no need to think of the Lord artificially as the yogis do. Dhyana avasthita tadgatena manasa pashyanti yam yoginah. Bhagavatam 12.3.1. Yogis meditate upon the Supreme Person within the mind. For a devotee, however, the Lord is present, and his presence need only be awakened through the initiation by a bona fide spiritual master. The Lord did not need to live within the womb of Devaki, for his presence within the core of her heart was sufficient to carry him. One is here forbidden to think that Krishna was begotten by Vasudeva within the womb of Devaki and that she carried the child within her womb. When Vasudeva was sustaining the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart, he appeared just like the glowing sun, whose shining rays are always unbearable and scorching to the common man. The form of the Lord situated in the pure, unalloyed heart of Vasudeva is not different from the original form of Krishna. The appearance of the form of Krishna anywhere, and specifically within the heart, is called Dhamma. Dhamma refers not only to Krishna's form, but to his name, his form, his quality, and his paraphernalia. Everything becomes manifest simultaneously. Thus, the eternal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with full potencies, was transferred from the mind of Vasudeva to the mind of Devaki, exactly as the setting sun's rays are transferred from the full moon rising in the east. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, entered the body of Devaki from the body of Vasudeva. He was beyond the conditions of the ordinary living entity. When Krishna is there, it is to be understood that all his plenary expansions, such as Narayana and the incarnations like Lord Nrsimha, Varaha, are with him, and they are not subject to the conditions of material existence. In this way, Devaki made the residence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is one without a second and the cause of all creation. Devaki became the residence of this absolute truth, but because she was within the whole house of Kamsa, she looked just like a suppressed fire or like misused education. When fire is covered by the walls of a pot or is kept in a jug, the illuminating rays of the fire cannot be very much appreciated. Similarly, misused knowledge, which does not benefit the people in general, is not very much appreciated. So Devaki was kept within the prison walls of Kamsa's palace, and no one could see her transcendental beauty, which resulted from her conceiving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Commenting upon this verse, Sri Veeraraghavacharya writes, Vasudeva Devaki Jatharayor Hridayayor bhāgavata-sevayā, the Supreme Lord's entrance into the womb of Devaki from the heart of Vasudeva was the heart-to-heart relationship. Heart-to-heart relationship. Okay, so this wonderful verse we are reading and trying to understand that there's multiple points here. Number one, that it was not how a mundane child is born. It was certainly not that. The process mentioned here is the process of Diksha, in which Vasudeva transferred Krishna from his mind to the mind of or heart of Devaki. Wow. In the spiritual life, we have a Diksha process or initiation process, where the spiritual master initiates the disciple and connects to the Supreme Lord through the medium of the disciplic chain, which is the unbroken chain which connects back to the Supreme Lord. When the spiritual master gives, who has Krishna, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Krishna se tomaro, Krishna dete paro, tomara shakti ache. The pure Vaishnava have Krishna in their heart, and it is their Shakti, their mercy, to whom they choose to give. And whom they will choose to give? One who is very, very eager to receive, one who is committed to receive it. Shad Aishwarya, full in 6 opulences. So it needs to be awakened. Bhakti needs to be awakened. It's in the dormant stage, like fire covered with a pot. It needs to be awakened. Devaki was in the jail, so that's the point. That like so beautiful, transcendental beauty, because the Lord is there. But that analogy is also used here. And the word Dhamma is also signifies, stressed here. It's not only Krishna's form, but his name, form, and all the qualities and parameters. Everything is Dhamma. And we discussed a few days back also about Dhamma. So heart-to-heart relationship in the last line is also mentioned. I think recently heard the class of Nityaṁ Prabhu was mentioning that in material life, we need results, right? It's all about results. Material life means results, projects, deadlines, tasks. In office, everyone is talking about results, growth, profit, revenue, etc. Right? All these sales, results. Relationships don't really matter. In office, someone superficially they may say a lot of things, but ultimately it boils down to results, right? And in family life, it's all about relationship. It's all about relationship, right? So, but in bhakti, it has to be a nice balance of results and relationship. And we are a preaching mission. And then Prabhuji gave a nice example. When Krishna and Sudama were given the task, they were in the forest and it was raining very heavily. They were carrying the torch of the fire torch, the mashal in Hindi we say. It was dark and it was scary night for the Supreme Lord. So got scared. So the torch was in the hand and they held each other's hand. I really like that point. That how holding the hand signifies relationships and holding the torch signifies the mission. So we have to balance both. In Vaishnava community, we should have mission. Oh, we have to encourage more people to Krishna consciousness. We must distribute more books. We should distribute more prasad, more holy name, bigger festivals, programs, planning, etc. A lot of coordination required. So that's the goal. But at the cost of the goal, we should not forget holding each other's hand. That means to help each other, to support each other. Everyone is going through a different phase. Everyone is going through a different journey. What good is the project without good people, right? So what good is any results without good relationships? And what good is the relationship when we forget the mission of the Guru, right? Then it will just become pious entertainment, right? But when we just focus on results, then it will not sustain also, because what good is that results when there are no people together? So it's a nice, healthy balance required about results and relationships. So just hard to connect that point. So devotees must have heart-to-heart relationship, not just hi, hello, bye. No, that's very superficial. Heart-to-heart means guhyam akhyati pritchati. That when we can openly and comfortably in a safe environment discuss Krishna Katha, discuss in and out, seek help from each other, help each other. That today I need you, tomorrow you need me, etc. We need each other to continue in this journey, Vaishnava Sangha. So relationship should be heart to heart. Very nice lesson here. Any other comments anyone has in this text? Or okay, so read next verse, text 90. Who would like to read this verse?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I can read.
Yes, please.
Hare Krishna, devotees, Dandat Pranam, or Sri Prabhupada, text number 19. Sa devaki sarva jagan nivasa bhuta nitharam naraje bhojendra gehe agni sikhe varuddha saraswati gnana kale yata sati. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Devaki then kept with herself the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, the foundation of the entire cosmos. But because she was under arrest in the house of Kamsa, she was like the flames of fire covered by the walls of pot, or like a person who has knowledge but cannot distribute it to the world for the benefit of the human society. Purport. In this verse, the word Gnana Kala is most significant. Knowledge is meant for distribution, although there is already much scientific knowledge. Whenever scientists or philosophers awaken to a particular type of knowledge, they try to distribute it throughout the world. For otherwise, the knowledge gradually dries up and no one benefits from it. India has the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, but unfortunately, for some reason or the other, the sublime knowledge of the science of God was not distributed throughout the world. Although it is meant for all human society, therefore Krishna himself appeared as Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu and ordered all Indians to take up the cause of distribution of knowledge of Bhagavad Gita throughout the world. Yare deke thare kahe Krishna upadesha. Amare agnana guru hana tare I desa. Instruct everyone to follow the orders of Lord Sri Krishna, as they are given in Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. In this way, become a spiritual master and try to liberate everyone in this land. Chaitanya-caritāmṛta Madhya Leela 7:128. Although India has a sublime knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Indians have not done their proper duty of distributing it. Now, therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement has been set up to distribute this knowledge as it is, without distortion. Although previously there were attempts to distribute the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, these attempts involved distortion and compromise with mundane knowledge. But now the Krishna consciousness movement without mundane compromise is distributing Bhagavad Gita as it is, and people are deriving the benefits of awakening of Krishna consciousness and becoming devotees of Lord Krishna. Therefore, the proper distribution of the knowledge has begun, by which not only will the whole world benefit, but India's glory will be magnified in human society. Kamsa tried to arrest Krishna consciousness with his house, Bhojendra Gehe, with the result that Kamsa, with all his opulences, was later vanquished. Similarly, the real knowledge of Bhagavad Gita was being choked by the unscrupulous Indian leaders, with the result that India's culture and knowledge of the Supreme Being, Supreme, were being lost. Now, however, because of Krishna consciousness is spreading, the proper use of Bhagavad Gita is being attempted. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, wonderful verse by Srila Prabhupada. So we can see that Devaki kept, the Lord in her heart, but Kamsa tried to, restrict her. So, but the fire cannot be covered by a wall pot. That's what Prabhupada says. So, in the same way, Prabhupada has compared the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, even though it is the most knowledgeable, transcendental message of the Lord, but some people try to hide it. But as we can see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 5,000 years ago, Krishna himself came, and then 500 years ago, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again, and 50 years ago, Srila Prabhupada came and distributed it widely all around the world. So we can see that Kamsa, tried to arrest, and he was vanquished. So in the same way, Prabhupada says that even though Bhagavad Gita is like that, it's kind of fire. If somebody tries to, curtail it, it will burn them. But at the same time, gurus have a lot of mercy, so they try to give it not only in India, but everywhere. So Prabhupada says that Indians should actually propagate this, and not only Prabhupada not only confined it to India, all over the world. And in fact, in Britain, he said that you people came and looted all the money and jewels, but they forgot the most important jewel, and I have come here to hand deliver it. Probably back to you, Hare Krishna.
There you go. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So nice words again. Jnana khala, as Prabhupada is saying, is very significant, because knowledge is meant for distribution. Knowledge is not meant to keep in and not make good use of it. So what is the real knowledge? Real knowledge is spiritual knowledge, which will save us from the cycle of birth and death. So, as Lord Chaitanya is saying here, that Amara Agya Guru Hana Tara Idesh. Everyone should become spiritual master. It's just not by dress, but by address. Address means how we react to the world, how we respond to the world, how we face the world. Because by one's character, by one's example, one is preaching. One should always preach, and if required, speak. So preaching is primarily by example. So by sharing Bhagavad Gita, by sharing Krishna Prasad, by inviting others for festivals, by encouraging others to chant. There's so many ways one can help others to share this knowledge, or one can share this knowledge with others. Gita, Bhagavatam, Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta. And Krishna consciousness is so variegated, so much variety, so much inclusion is there. Everything can be dovetailed in Krishna's service. So one must intelligently, based on time, place, situations, help others. Use our mind. Think of newer ideas, creative ideas. So how we can help, be an instrument to share this with others. This is the good use of the mind. Otherwise, it is said, when the machine does not work, it gets rusted. We're talking about gold. comfort and stretch zones. So one should be in stretch zone. In comfort zone, it just gets stagnant and no growth, no challenge, no creativity, no. One should always be in the stretch zone. Stretch for Krishna. Think big. Do something for Krishna. This is bhakti. Think about the Prabhupada disciples. They were doing anything and everything by the mercy of Prabhupada. Anyone can do anything by the mercy of Guru. Just think about living in cardboard boxes with a toddler, with an infant actually. 3 young couples going to London with no resources, no money, no nothing, and they establish the whole Hare Kṛṣṇa movement there. Prabhupada came, and so many challenges, so many difficult situations. But why? To share this real knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, which is the order of Lord Chaitanya. As he says, I'm a gardener, but I cannot distribute all these seeds. Where all I'll go? I need your help. Lord Chaitanya is asking, I need your help. So we have to be eager to help Lord Chaitanya. When we try to help, we will get help. Those who try to help others in their Krishna consciousness, Srimati Radharani helps them in their Krishna consciousness. So, very, very important to not just keep these knowledge we have received, which is a great blessing. To the best of our abilities and situations, we must share with others based on time, place, situations. Any other comments, additions anyone has? Okay, we'll go to the next one, text 20. Who would like to read, please? Okay, someone want to read?
I can read, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotees, Dhamma Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Text 20. Tam Bhikshok Amsho Prabha Jita Taram Virochat Tim Bhavanam Shuchi Smitam Ahisho Me Prano Haro Hori Gujam Dhruvam Srito Yan No Puranam Idrishi. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki joy. Translation. Because the Supreme Personal Godhead was within her womb, Devaki illuminated the entire atmosphere in the place where she was confined. Seeing her jubilant, pure, and smiling, Kamsa thought, the Supreme Personal Godhead, Vishnu, who is now within her, will kill me. Devaki has never before looked so brilliant and jubilant. Purport. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 4.7, Jada jada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata obhuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam sijami aham. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. In this age, at the present moment, there are inordinate discrepancies in the discharge of human duties. Human life is meant for God realization, but unfortunately, the materialistic situation is stressing only the senses of the body, not understanding the living force within the body. As clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita, Dehinahasmin Jatha Dehe, within the body is the body's proprietor, the living force, which is more important, but human society has become so fallen that instead of understanding the living force within the body, people have become busy with external things. This is a discrepancy in human duties. Therefore, Krishna has taken birth to take shelter or taken shelter within the womb of Krishna consciousness movement, men of conscious class therefore very much afraid and are busy trying to stop this movement, especially in the Western countries. One politician has remarked that Krishna consciousness movement is spreading like an epidemic, and that if not checked immediately, within 10 years it may capture governmental power. There is, of course, such potency in the Krishna consciousness movement, as stated by authorities, Chaitamrita Adi, Leela 17:22. Koli Kale Nam Rupo Krishna Avatar. In this age, Krishna has appeared in the Hare Kṛṣṇa Mahamantra. The Krishna consciousness movement is spreading like wildfire all over the world, and it will go on doing so. Men who are like Kamsa are very much afraid of the movement's progress and acceptance by the younger generation. But as Krishna could not be killed by Kamsa, this movement cannot be checked by men of conscious class. The movement will go on increasing more and more, provided the leaders of the movement remain firmly Krishna conscious, following the regulated principles and the primary activities of chanting the Hare Kṛṣṇa mantra regularly. So it's a very nice verse and translation by Prabhupada and purport. So as definitely Mother Devaki looking brilliant, jubilant, because she's holding in her mind the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and conscious class of people definitely will be afraid of the Supreme Lord. And that is the same thing happening in Krishna conscious movement, when you see a lot of people sometimes here, there, back home and here also, that they are against Krishna conscious movement because they are materialistic people. They are concerned only for body. They forget the living force in the body, that is the soul, and its ultimate destination to God, to Godhead. So Krishna conscious movement, Prabhupada given to us to awaken our sleeping soul to go back to the Godhead, and it could not be stopped by any means by the conscious class of people, because Krishna conscious movement is nothing but Krishna himself in his form of name, as said in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Koli Kale Nam Rupa Krishna Avatar. So chanting Krishna, Hare Kṛṣṇa Mahamantra is nothing but Krishna himself. So, and as Prabhupada said, next 10,000 years, nobody will be able to check Hare Kṛṣṇa movement. It will spread like fire. And this is only the second generation going on, and third generation. And we see how much it is spreading all over. Back to Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Very well, thank you so much, Ruchi. This is real epidemic. Safe epidemic, transcendental epidemic. It uproots all the viruses of lust, anger, greed, envy. The other epidemics causes difficulties, but this takes away all the difficulties. And actually we see even in this, devotees are so creative, innovative in their approach. You would be amazed to know that ISKCON has done more outreach in the last 2 years, actually, in this COVID times, than in the previous, because now there is actually no limit, right? Devotees from anywhere in the world can join anywhere. Right? Of course, that does not undermine the importance of physical association, but we can only focus on what's in our control, right? We cannot control the factors beyond our control, right? When will this pandemic end? That's beyond our control. We cannot control that. But what we can control is the choices we make. okay, the physical association may not be that much feasible. So those, two options are there now. And two outcomes happen. For those who don't want to go to temple, or those who don't want to take association, there's a good reason. Oh, now how can I go? How can I? Their bhakti may go down in such scenarios. Those who were kind of maybe, pushed by others, now they have a good reason. Sorry, I can't come to the temple. Sorry, this is not, But those who are sincere will see, now I have to be more careful, because now I'm not physically meeting with devotees. So let me be very sincere now and let's not miss any opportunity for Krishna Katha and Vaishnava Sangha, even if it's through Zoom. So if one has that approach, those devotees will become even more sincere, right? When we have a healthy fear, right? You remember that we discussed, when you have a healthy fear of kamsa, the material desires will go. So having a healthy fear is good. So devotees are doing their best in every city, in every temple, every country. And as a result, hundreds and thousands and millions of people their lives are getting transformed. Prabhupada is quoting this politician, I don't know who was that politician at that time, who is making this comment. It's spreading like a pandemic, and if it is not checked, in 10 years it may capture government in power. Prabhupada is quoting that. It's good, right? So, in short, we must try to please Lord Chaitanya by being an instrument of their compassion, by sharing with others. And sharing does not mean that one has to give up home, family, etc. There are a lot of ways Krishna consciousness can be shared, even from home. Even from home, there are so many opportunities. By talking to our devotees we may have met, outreaching, connecting with them, asking about their well-being. We meet so many devotees in MSF, we meet so many devotees at other places. Those who may have come for our programs in the past, we have like 500 devotees in our database, right? So even from home, a lot of things can happen. All we need is desire to connect them to the mercy of the Lord. And I was thinking every year one should actually measure also. This is something that this year I helped, or Krishna made me the instrument to help how many devotees, right? We should help at least one person, if not more, right? To help them. And by helping them, we will be helped. So a lot of emphasis on the preaching and outreach here. Prabhupada is quoting in the purport, because this is what Prabhupada's heart is, right? Prabhupada left all the comforts of Vrindavan, home, family, everything. Why? And came to such a country like United States at that time. It was with no resource, nothing. Why? To share Krishna consciousness. Any other comments, thoughts anyone has? Okay, we'll take one more verse before we wrap up. Oops. It's a different window. Yeah, 621. Anyone wants to read? Any Mataji's want to read? Aswati Mataji want to read?
Everyone, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Text 21. Kim Kim adya tasmin karanyam ashume yad artho tantro na bihanti vikramam striyaha swasur gurumatya vadoyam yasya sriyam hanti anukalam ayuho. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Kamsa thought, what is my duty now? The Supreme Lord, who knows his purpose, paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam, will not give up his prowess. Devaki is a woman. She is my sister, and moreover, she is now pregnant. If I kill her, my reputation, opulence, and duration of life will certainly be vanquished. Purport. According to Vedic principles, a woman, a brahmana, an old man, a child, and a cow should never be killed. It appears that Kamsa, although a great enemy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was aware of the Vedic culture and conscious of the fact that the soul transmigrates from one body to another, and that one suffers in the next life according to the karmas of this life. Therefore, he was afraid of killing Devaki. Since she was a woman, she was his sister, and she was pregnant. A Kshatriya becomes famous by performing heroic acts. But what would be heroic about killing a woman who, while confined in his custody, was under his shelter? Therefore, he did not want to act drastically by killing Devaki. Kamsa's enemy was within Devaki's womb, but killing an enemy in such a nascent state would not be an exhibition of prowess. According to Kshatriya's rule, an enemy should be fought face to face and with proper weapons. Then, if the enemy is killed, the victor becomes famous. Kamsa very conscientiously deliberated upon these facts and therefore refrained from killing Devaki, although he was completely confident that his enemy had already appeared within her womb. So here Kamsa was confused. He is thinking like, because he's a Kshatriya, he's a king. So king's duty is to protect woman, Brahman, old man, and child, and a cow. So, and that's why Kamsa was very much confused of what to do. And although he knows that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is in her sister's womb, but he also aware of the next next life and all the karmas if he does, and accordingly he will get another body to transmigrate his soul from one body to another. So all the knowledge he has. So that's what it's explained. Please explain. Thank Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. I was thinking that all these points, if we remember in chapter 1, when Vasudeva was trying to protect Devaki, all these points, Vasudeva said, hey, Kamsa, she is your sister. She is a woman. Don't try to kill her. Moreover, it's her wedding day, right? These acts will not bring name, fame. These acts will bring defame to you, and you are the Kula of Bhoja dynasty. What kind of evil act you are trying to perform? So even Kamsa had some sense of right and wrong, right? So, but in the life of demoniac people, sometimes it's they sometimes remember, sometimes forget, right? Now here Kamsa is able to recall, but when he was about to chop off the head of Devaki at that time these things didn't click. So that's the demonic influence. Sometimes the different modes govern us differently. So Pretty straightforward. Kamsa is thinking about all these. What is my duty now? Kamsa is well aware that the person who's supposed to kill me isn't there. He's brilliant. That's why she's looking so beautiful. And he's my Kala. He's my end. Right? Will not give up his prowess. So we see that even Acharya has also mentioned indirectly, even though he is seemingly criticizing, but he is glorifying the Supreme Lord in other way. Now the Supreme Lord who knows his purpose, Paritranaya Sadhu now, Prabhupada is indirectly mentioning that, he will not give up his purpose. He will not give up his prowess. He's going to kill me. So the Acharyas mentioned that even in so-called harsh words of Kamsa, there are praises hidden in those meanings of the words. Okay, anything else before anyone else has on these verses, comments, thoughts? Okay. So I guess we will pause here. If there are no comments or additional questions, we can pause here and take tomorrow from this point that Kamsa is thinking, what should I do? Now Devaki is carrying Krishna, who Kamsa knows that he is the cause of my death. What will he do? We will see tomorrow probably. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purana ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari. Patarupyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Patitana Avalibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.